95.5 KHFM, your classical station.
The New Mexico Philharmonic's next classics concert is on the way, with Mussorgsky's Pictures at an Exhibition and featuring works for saxophone soloist as well. And I'm happy to be speaking with guest conductor Alejandro Gómez Guillén about it today. Thanks so much for joining me.
Great to be here, Alexis. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, I would love to talk first about the piece that closes the program, Pictures at an Exhibition. Mussorgsky wrote it as a piano solo, but Ravel orchestrated it. Could you talk a bit about some of those really great examples of orchestration in this piece?
Yes, we can't talk about Pictures at an Exhibition without talking about Ravel and how he helped preserve Mussorgsky's original language, but also kind of transformed it in his own way too. And this is just one of those rare pieces that I think meets the listeners where they are. You're essentially walking through a gallery in sound, and Ravel's orchestration just gives every section of the orchestra a chance to shine. And it's immediate, it's colorful, and I just think it's one of the most engaging pieces in the repertoire. You don't have to know anything about it. We take you on a journey with us. You get to experience it just as we are.
Because there are so many pieces being depicted here, so many pictures,
Right.
you get to really show off a lot of different characters in the orchestra too, right?
Absolutely. Not only combinations of color in terms of different combinations of instrument, but yeah, every portrait, every picture is a completely different thing. And even though sometimes it's hard to put them all together, I do find that it works as a single journey too. And it's just a kind of a great chance for the orchestra to show off, really. And I can't wait to meet the musicians of the New Mexico Phil and experience that together.
Now, the first half of the concert features saxophonist Christopher Creviston. I believe you're colleagues at Arizona State, is that right?
We sure are, yes.
Have you collaborated on these pieces before?
No, we have not. I'm very excited to do it. You know, I met Chris, one of the first people I met, and we hit it off right away. He brings a great energy. He's really one of the best saxophonists alive today. He's a wonderful teacher as well, and I'm just so confident that the audiences will love hearing him. And actually, he plays also with the orchestra in the saxophone solo for the Pictures and Exhibition, which is one of the most iconic moments too. So I hope you like saxophone. I certainly do, and it's going to be an awesome thing to share with all of you.
That is a really unique opportunity for us to get to hear a saxophone soloist is not the standard fare. So I would love to know a little bit about those pieces. First, we have John Anthony Lennon's Escapades. That's pretty new work. What's it like?
Yeah, you know, it was actually commissioned in partnership with Chris, with the soloist, to kind of commemorate the birth of one of his daughters, Ziva, who I know she's lovely. And I was not familiar with John Anthony Lennon's musical language before, so I've really enjoyed to get to know the piece. I think the audience will just enjoy the sort of the energy. It's very multifaceted, very accessible. And again, with the composer and the soloist having collaborated on this, it's also kind of a rare opportunity to hear a living American voice presented in that way.
And I know you'll also be performing Portrait of a Peaceful Scene. Is this by the jazz pianist Mickey Tucker?
Absolutely, Mickey Tucker. And I also have a personal connection. We actually did the world premiere of his whole piece during my time as director of the Bloomington Symphony Orchestra. And it was a wonderful thing. He lives in Australia now. He was not able to travel for the premiere, but we were able to involve him in every part of the process, have the manuscript come alive. And it's really a wonderful piece. This is just one portion of it. Of course, we would not have enough time to do the whole thing. And it's really, really beautiful. We have access to his original kind of piano playing that informs how we were going to bring the piece alive. And it's very sweet. And I thought, you know, Portrait of a Peaceful Scene, we're doing pictures, we're talking about portraiture, we're doing this idea of big colors and kind of bold sounds. And I thought it was a perfect fit. So I'm very happy for this to be one of the premieres that I think New Mexico premiere, certainly.
And I know that also on the program is Jesse Montgomery's Strum. I would love for you to just tell us a bit about the style of that piece, too.
You know, I think that Jesse's music, Jesse Montgomery's music, is music that feels very contemporary, but also kind of rooted. And drum, as the name indicates, it starts very intimately with the viola soloist kind of strumming, you know, and then gradually really builds into something so much more rhythmic and energetic, and it showcases the warmth and flexibility of the string section. So I'm excited about that, not only featuring different members of the orchestra, different sections of the orchestra, for the second half, but it really begins as early as Jesse's piece and the rest of the program. It's one of my favorites. It's one of these pieces that is becoming a standard of string orchestra and just of American music in general, I feel.
Now, this season, the New Mexico Philharmonic began its search for their next music director, and you are one of the candidates. So I just have to ask you, what draws you to New Mexico?
Yes, I'm very excited to be back. I have been in Albuquerque before, such a beautiful place, and New Mexico, in a way, not very far from Arizona. So there's a sort of a Western connection there too. I think I'm just really excited about getting to know an organization that presents itself as being embedded in the community, as representing the whole state. And I think also knowing that they're very wonderful musicians in the orchestra, I'm just very excited to learn from them and create something awesome together. So, at this stage, we're just having this concert together and we'll see where it goes from here. But I'm very excited to be back and, New Mexico is calling.
And broadly, as a conductor, are there particular composers or periods that you're especially passionate about bringing to audiences?
This is a hard question to answer. I think that really everything I'm getting to do in a specific time is my favorite thing, has to be, right? Otherwise, I'm not doing a good job. But I do gravitate a lot to this kind of intersection of modern American music, contemporary music, with a lot of the so-called masters of the past, whether it be American or also European, also with my background in South American music. And there's kind of a nice points of intersection. It's hard for me to really pull one out. But I feel like I just really resonate with music in general that tells a story that reaches audiences kind of at a visceral level. And that's really my approach to make it very compelling, educational, and energetic and alive for the audiences. And of course, in partnership with the musicians of the orchestra.
And my last question for you is a big one, but in your experience, what are the most effective ways an orchestra can remain relevant and deepen its community connections?
Very relevant question indeed. I think the orchestra as an institution is something that is so important for any community. The fact that people come together from all walks of life to listen, in a time where things sometimes may feel a little fragmented, for a group of people to come together and experience music being done live is such an incredible communal thing that we need more and more of. And doesn't matter what you believe in, doesn't matter where you're coming from, the music can find you as you are and give you what you need out of it. For some people, it might be solace. For some people, it might be energy. And I think that these types of communal experiences we need more of, honestly. And I can't imagine a better vehicle for that than a symphony orchestra. And in the case of New Mexico Phil, I feel like we're trying to do that, certainly in this program. And I have a sense that the orchestra is definitely trying to do that in the community as well.
On Saturday, February 28th, the New Mexico Philharmonic presents pictures at an exhibition with saxophonist Christopher Creviston and conducted by Alejandro Gómez Guillén. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about it today.
I enjoyed our conversation very much. I hope to see you at the concert. Thank you.